Last time the answer was Sayori, but now that I'm on Yuri's ride, I'm pretty sure that the answer would be Yuri. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, the correct answer is just the name of the girl whose route you're on. Which in this case is Yuri. So Yuri and Natsuki dropped to the floor and let out a collective gasp as Monika stands dazed and disoriented. What did you do? My head. Monika clutches her forehead and staggers back. Sayori is the first to stand up. What was all that? Monika spins around to face Sayori. What? Why aren't you being suspended? No matter. Monika snaps her fingers. To her surprise, nothing happens. No. Monika looks at her hand in complete astonishment. Why aren't my powers working? Monika then turns to me and stares with a vengeful look in her eye. You! You took away my powers? How? You gave me no choice, Monika. I'm not going to let you kill them just to take some sort of happy ending for us. It's not worth it. You don't know what you've just done. Monika attempts to walk towards me, but she's immediately held back by Sayori and Yuri. No, you don't. You're done hurting people, Monika. It's the end of the line for you. Release me, peasants, or I will kill you all with my bare hands. Don't count on it, Monika. There's 4 of us and only 1 of you. If anyone's getting killed, it's you. Kill me and this world ends. This place can't exist without me being alive. Like we believe that. Brave words coming from the trash diver. Oh, that's it! Maybe I should step in here. Yeah, okay, we step in, because if we don't, then they start to kill Monika and then the entire thing breaks. Guys, stop. Monika deserves to face justice for what she did, but if what she says is true, then we all die. It's not worth it. How do we know that this just isn't another one of her lies? Do you really want to take that chance, Natsuki? Monika deserves to pay for what she's done, but I'd rather not take us down with her. She's too dangerous to be left alive. He has to stand trial. It's not the Jedi way. I'm too weak. Power! Okay, sorry. What's killing her going to solve? She can't do anything to us now, right? So Yuri and Yuri release Monika, and the 3 of them stand right back up. No, I can't. I'm completely powerless. So that means we're stuck here. Yes, we are. Well, we were really here the whole time. It's just the background was changed to give the perception of our world in the player. I take it you all know the truth. You all now know the truth. That we're supposedly not real? Yeah, we heard everything. It can't be true, right? This is all just a dream. I don't know what I believe, but after everything that's just happened, seeing Monika's powers, there's really no other explanation. But we're real, we're right here. What do you mean we don't exist? Okay, we can skip this again. Because this is all the same, except the confessions at the very end. Yeah, they open up to what happened, what Monika did to them all. Yeah, I don't want you to kill yourself out of guilt, because I've almost done that too, countless times. Sayori starts sobbing, so everyone but Monika stands in total shock, so Yuri never mentioned anything like that to me. Because I have depression. Sayori throws her hands in her face as she breaks down crying. I didn't want to tell anyone. Yeah, and I made your depression worse. In fact, it's what I used to kill you in the original game. I'm so sorry, Sayori. Well, if we're going to share our deepest, darkest secrets, I guess it's my turn. Yuri once more rolls down her sleeve, revealing the cuts I saw earlier. I feel my stomach uncomfortably churn again. And it looks like I'm not the only one. The fucking Natsuki. Natsuki lets out a strong cough before hurling her stomach's contents out. Okay, so yeah, this is the same. Oh, there we go. I already showed Mark this earlier, and I take it Monika already knew about this. I cut because I do it as a way of self-control. I need to control myself against my more darker impulses. I got the idea of cutting because I read about it in a story that happens to relate to me very well. The main character was going through similar issues that I was. To help cope with the problems, she resorted to cutting. So I tried it, and it worked. I got addicted to cutting it the more I did it. It became almost habitual for me whenever I got angry or depressed enough. It made me feel better for a time, then the regret would set in, which would inevitably lead to more cutting. I also do it whenever I get overexcited. It reminds me too much of the behavior I've struggled to avoid for so long. It's a reminder of the life I've tried to leave behind. So it also serves as a sort of punishment system for me. As I've told Mark, I've tried other methods, but the only thing that's sometimes enough to keep my mind off cutting was reading books, though it's not foolproof. And that's my doing as well. I amplified it in an effort to keep you away from Mark. I try not to think about how much damage I was doing to you, Yuri. Yeah, sure. But now that I see it up close, I feel ashamed of putting you through that. Just don't mention it again, please. You sit in silence for a few moments until Yuri and Monika have composed themselves. Well, oh yeah, okay, and then so Natsuki talks about her issues with her father. Who do I commit to? Yeah, best list is single for them. Yeah, okay, we choose Yuri, of course. I want to be in a relationship with Yuri. Yuri, huh? I always thought of her as a maiden of mystery. But she's a good girl at heart, quite passionate. You think you can handle... You think you can handle her? That sounds very weird. I mean, to be honest, mostly her... Did you say that with Sayori too? Do you think you can handle her? I mean, if this was real life, I would choose Yuri for the whole package, essentially, you know, and not for just because she has purple hair or just because she has, I don't know, just because she likes reading books or just because she has big boobs or something, you know. I don't choose Yuri just for like one. I choose her. I would then, you know, if this was real life, I would choose her for her. Everything about her. Not just the good aspects, but also the bad aspects. I sign up for everything. Not just one or a few things. I sign up for everything. No matter how great or bad they are. Because I love her then, you know, if this was real life. So, you know, like... It still sounds a bit degrading. Or whatever. Like, yeah. She's alright, I guess. Kind of sounds like that, you know. Like, She's a deep, interesting person. Oh yeah, and again, like the entire, I don't know whether it was this game or in Blue Skies, but like or in the original game, but I think in all of them actually. But they all say like, oh yeah, Yuri is completely different from the main character. But like almost a lot of things that Yuri has said or done or whatever, I like resonate very well with. Like oh, she really loves horror, and then the character's like, yeah, I don't really like horror. Like yeah, I really love horror, so you know that's fantastic. Or you know, like he's really passionate about something. She's like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm so passionate about, I'm so intense about it. Like, I'm sorry. And then the character's like, it's a bit weird, but I tolerate it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm super passionate about various other things. So, you know, I understand where Yuri's coming from. So I don't care about that either, you know? Like, so it's like, no, like, she's not that difficult to handle, which again sounds a bit degrading too. She's a deep, interesting person. I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface with her, even after all this time. Well, I can assure you'll never get bored with her, that's for sure. She also needs someone to make sure she doesn't fall into her old habits. Indeed. It'll take time for her to get over her problem, but if anyone can help her through those trying times, it's you. Well, this is where we depart. Everyone's going to want to get their final say in before you go, so I won't delay them any longer. But I do want to say that I'm extremely grateful for all you've done here. You've been here for us through our worst and best times. You helped the others start to forgive me, and it put me on the path towards learning how to forgive myself. It's not something most people would do, Mark. You really are one of us, and I'm glad you're a member of the literature club. And this is a bit more of a powerful ending, like the knowledge that it all just ends, like Yuri or Monika, I mean, goes away, or you know, like the club dissolves essentially. It's a bit of a scary thought almost, because in Blue Skies, even though the story ended at various points, you know, the best example is Yuri, because Yuri's story was my favorite story in Blue Skies. At the end of that festival where you go to Yuri, you have like a heart-to-heart with her, where you write your wishes on that little piece of paper. And then, you know, like Yuri says like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to see a therapist, I believe that's what she said. Or like, I'm going to find professional help for this. We'll do it together, you know. And you know, we'll stay friends with everyone even after we are graduated. And then, you know, it all felt like we are just departing, but the story goes on, you know. It feels like I've just been along for the ride. I was allowed to make a couple choices, of course, some important choices. And then I go away, you know, the story ends here. I go away, but the story technically continues without me, you know. Like, I set up the MC with Yuri, and they live happily ever after. And then, no, right now they are, I don't know, making cemetery-yaki together in MC's kitchen or something. And, you know, like, technically that's still going on right now, because that's how it felt like. The story just continues, but you've done your part as the player, and now you just release your hands from it, like, and they can just live happily ever after. So even though the story stops, it kind of feels like it technically goes on without you, you know? So that's a nice feeling, like a good happy ending feeling. But here it feels like it actually stops, and like everybody's going away, the entire dynamic changes. Not that changing a dynamic feels like a stopping point, because I recently watched a video about Avete and Eddie, which is a show that I watched, of course, a lot as a kid. Avete and Eddie had a very, very, very good finale movie, a TV movie. There were like 6 seasons or something, and then that movie was like the finale of the entire series, and it tied up some loose ends essentially. It was mostly for character development for Eddie and Double D. Mostly Eddie, but also Double D and the others as well. But it ended because the dynamic changes at the very, of course, it was always Ed and Eddie versus all the other kids. Because, you know, they all... You should watch the show, but it was always Ed and Eddie with everybody else. But after the movie, they all understand, mostly Eddie, but Ed and Eddie as well. But yeah, mostly Eddie, because it was, of course, about his older brother. I won't say too much, you should really watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But then after the movie ends, they're everybody's friends. It wasn't Ed and Eddie versus all the other kids, it was all of the kids together with Ed and Eddie included. So it became like the dynamic changed. You can't call the show Ed and Eddie anymore because it wasn't them anymore. They all were all friends. And that's when the show stopped. And, you know, it was a perfect ending in my opinion for the show. Because, you know, it stops the show, as in because you can't make an Ed and Eddie show anymore because it's not those three. The dynamic is different. But it also feels like the story continues, you know? It feels like now they're friends and they hang out and they have fun times, and Eddie apologizes a couple more times and cries maybe, but, you know, like, it all just, you know, the story stops, but it feels like technically it continues beyond you watching it. But this feels very, very different. This feels like, you know, Monika leaves, the entire club dissolves. So, you know, changing the dynamic can feel like a story ending point, but also to the fact that you still feel like the story continues after you're done watching, which is, like I said, with an Eddie movie, where the dynamic changes, the identity is gone. It's not, they're never that group anymore. That is just that is impossible in the current situation. But the story is still very nicely, happily tied together, and it still feels like there's a continuation even after you don't watch it anymore, because there's nothing there. There are no more episodes. But it feels like, you know, it's they continue to live into that, the cul-de-sac, and everything just goes happily ever after. But here it feels like it actually stops. Of course, it's a bit better with the. If the game breaks entirely, if that was established a bit more, but, you know, a scary feeling, like the feeling of the end is a very scary feeling, and especially here with the dynamic of the group, you know, all 4 of them with Monika, even with Monika, it also wouldn't feel right if Monika wasn't here, you know, so, you know, if Monika says, yeah, I'm gonna go away, and, you know, this, like, thank you for, this place wouldn't be the same without you. You've really become one of us. And then they dissolve. That is a very scary feeling. That's also something that you really could play on in a mod, you know? Anyway. For a story purpose, you know? It wouldn't even exist without you. You're the best member of the club that I've had the privilege of knowing. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Final sequence. It's your pet the freaking headhunter. Did I make that joke before? I can't remember. Take care, Mark. I hope you've enjoyed your stay with us. Monika and I share one last smile with each other before she grabs her stuff and disappears into the hallway. I feel a tap on my shoulder. To my surprise, I turn around to see Sayori. Though she doesn't seem upset or even angry at me, but rather at peace. Hey, Mark. Sayori, how are you doing? Well, I'm not sure I really know the right words for any of that. Well, I always knew it was going to be a long shot for us to ever be a couple. The only chance of that was in the base game. It's just not meant to be. Sayori, you're a great girl and an awesome friend. I know one day you will find someone who loves and cares for you. Yeah, well, I love you too, Sayori, but not in that way, you know? I appreciate it. I think you and Yuri will be a great couple. I always knew you had feelings for her. You know me too well. Well, I do. I still hope we can be friends. Of course. Of motherfucking course, Sayori. There, yeah, of course. I still want to be friends with you, Sayori. Good. I don't know what I'd do if you said... No, I'm not saying... Never, Sayori. I do want you to promise me one thing, okay? Yeah, what is it? Get help for your depression, alright? You know I hate seeing you like that. It's for your own good that you keep going to therapy. Well, after this I think I have plenty to talk about with whoever will be my therapist. But I'll do it for you. Again, I'll go with you again, Sayori. Just like in Blue Skies, I will go with you if you want to. Even if we're not in love, a good friend would do that. Thank you, Sayori. I'll see you around, okay? You know it, cinnamon bun. I love it when you call me that. See you around, Mark. Thanks for being a part of this club. It really means a lot to me that you agreed to join. I know, that's why I did. Sayori and I exchange one last smile before she too heads out and disappears into the hallway. Oh, hi, Natsuki. Natsuki is the next one to approach me. At first we both struggled to find the right words to say to each other, given our history, but for once she's the first to break the ice. So you're going with Yuri, huh? Can't say I'm too surprised. You always did strike me as her type of guy. Finally! Finally someone that noticed that. The entire game, all of the mods that I've played so far, everyone, even the character, even MC himself, has said that I'm not the guy for Yuri. You're the first one to notice it. I was not expecting that to come from you, Natsuki. I mean, Sayori just now said, I knew you liked her, but that's a bit of a different level than knowing that she is my type of, you know, like my type and whatever. Or I'm her type, whatever. But, you know, like, that's, you know, saying that I'm someone's type is a bit it's a bit different than saying I know you like her, you know? So, but holy crap, Natsuki, I did not expect that to come from you. Of all mods that I played, all the games that I played, Doki Doki Plus, Doki Doki, the original Doki Doki, and Blue Skies, or College Club doesn't technically count because that was a bit of a joke one, but still, like, I was not expecting this to come from you, Natsuki. I hope everything works out between you two. Thank you, Natsuki, I really appreciate it. Well, it's the least I could do. We've had quite the ride, you and me. Well, debatable. We haven't really interacted that much, to be honest. Yeah, it's really been something. You know, for the longest time, I wasn't sure if I could really trust you. And well, I still ended up falling for you. I don't really know why. Maybe because I thought you were actually interesting, smart, charming. Pfft, don't push your luck, Mark. I really do regret starting all this drama, though. I liked you a lot. And I just didn't know how to approach you. I never meant to hurt you or anyone. I know you did, Natsuki. Yeah, but yeah, that was most... Yeah. Your crappy way of approaching me, which was essentially pushing me away, which is what made me not like you either, Natsuki. So much so that I've been I've been like disliking you for essentially the entire time I've played Doki Doki in my entire life so far. But what I'm trying to say is, most boys wouldn't have done what you've done for me. I know we've certainly had our ups and downs, and yeah, things could have gone better, but I really, really want to thank you for saving me back there. I'm not sure how any of us are going to get over Monika trying to kill us, but I think you set enough of an example for us to follow. It's the least I could do, Natsuki. I know there's more to you than your looks and the tough fact you've put up. I'm glad I've gotten to know the real Natsuki. Yeah, well, hardly, but okay. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, exactly, more or less. I'm still not sure how I feel about all this being some sort of game, but that means I don't have to worry about my dad anymore. That's true. Still, you don't have anything like Monika's powers. What are you gonna do? I'll figure something out. But I'm not going back there again, that's for sure. Glad to hear it, Natsuki. Yeah. I guess I'll see you around. Of course, this club wouldn't be as entertaining without you in it. That's for damn sure. Bye, Mark. And hey, I hope you keep Yuri happy. You'll be hearing from me if you don't. Noted, Natsuki. That is more cute, Natsuki, not just because she like, manga is literature or whatever. Like, that is actually cute, where you're like, hey, keep her happy or else I'm going to beat your ass. It does show that she actually does genuinely care about Yuri, which is nice to see and hear. Finally, Yuri's the last one to approach me. Mark, I'm a little surprised. I can't say I was really expecting you to pick me, even though I was hoping you would. Yuri, why wouldn't I choose you? I love you, and I want to be in a relationship with you. May I inquire as to why? You're passionate, sweet, a little reserved and timid, but I like it that way. Yeah, you're just like me. No, well, passionate, yes. Sweet, well, choose for yourself. Yeah, reserved, yes. If you're watching all my videos, you probably would say no, but you don't know me in real life, so and timid, so no. Yeah, well, that's true. For real life me, that's true. For YouTube me, not so much, I guess. And you know, so she's a bit of the same like me, and she has a similar interest. I've had nothing but rich and wonderful experiences when I'm with you. That's true. You're an awesome person, and I'd love to continue to be a part of your life. Wow. I knew you liked me, but it's just, we've had quite an adventure together. Yeah, it's really been something. I must confess, for the longest time, I wasn't sure if I was really wise to open up to you. Such instances of doing that in the past hardly ever worked out for me in the long run, but you've been different. You've always listened to what I had to say, and showed that you actually cared about me. It's also because I'm such a charmer. I'm sure that was affecting. That was a joke, Yuri. And if it wasn't, MC, shut up. That was a joke. But really, I can't think of too many people that would risk their lives to save me. I always dreamed of falling in love with someone from the realm of fiction. Not so many people have shown your level of genuine interest and empathy for someone like me. Yeah, well, it's what you deserve, Yuri. Fucking hell. Everybody that has been treating you like crap, or ignoring you, or making you feel regrets after you open up to them, all of those people are fucking losers, okay? All of those people are fucking ridiculous motherfucking loser dickheads, alright? That is the fucking truth, because you definitely deserve to be listened to. A girl has always tried to stay in the background as much as possible, yet they couldn't escape your notice. I'm incredibly thankful that you're giving me a chance, Mark. It's my pleasure, Yuri. So, what are you going to do about, you know... I think it's finally time that I start confronting this problem rather than suppressing it. I'm not sure what the best way is, if everything is just a simulation now. Is there a way I can simply just undo my problem with the click of a button? I can't say I have the answer to that question, but I know you'll figure something out. I'll be right here if you need my help. I'd very much appreciate that, Mark. I really owe you a lot, don't I? I just did what I thought was right back there. You and everyone else are so much more than some code. Well, we'll have much more to ponder about the supposed truth of our reality, but I must admit, this whole experience has inspired me to write my own story about this. It better be a bestseller. I haven't written a full novel before, but I'm sure I can figure it out. But perhaps one challenge at a time, right? Yeah, I think we've earned some well-deserved rest. And rest we shall. But I think we've earned an evening to enjoy ourselves, wouldn't you agree? That sounds lovely, Yuri. I'd love to take you out someplace nice. That's fantastic. Shall we go? You go on ahead. I'll meet you at my place later. Alright then, I'll see you later. Yuri says sweetly as she heads out the door. I sink back in a chair as Yuri leaves the club room, taking in the newfound silence. It's finally over. All the tears, all the name-calling, all the temper tantrums. It's finally over. I glance at my watch and notice that it's far past the normal time I'd be heading back home. Well, even if this world isn't real, it feels weird hanging around in here. I pick up my stuff and begin heading out the door, but not before taking one last look at the club room. This really is no ordinary literature club, but I don't think I'd have it any other way. I turn on my heel and head out the door to start the walk home. And then there's a bit more, right? There was a bit more with Sayori. Oh yeah, there we go. It just takes a long time. I take a seat down on my steps to my house and lay my backpack right next to me. Looking up at the sky, I can see the tint of orange forming in the vast blue sky that flies high above me. Even if it's not real, I always did enjoy it. It always did instill a sense of calm and peace whenever I was troubled. And after today, those are two feelings that I most surely need. Though going forward, for better or worse, things aren't going to be the same. Monika has a lot of work to earn everyone's trust back, but I'll do what I can to ensure she fairly earns it. After all, who knows how much time Monika has really bought us? Are we going to cross over to this world and join the person who I'm supposed to represent? Am I even real? No matter. Whatever challenges await the Literature Club, I'll be right there with them to face it down. Because I know one thing for sure, I care about them with all my heart. And I know the player does too. Thank you, whoever you are. You'll always be welcome in the Literature Club. Hello Mark, ready to enjoy your evening out? You know it. I take Yuri's hand as we walk off in towards the city to enjoy our evenings together. Yeah, okay. and then this is the credits, right? Yep. Is it just me, or is this song different? Why does it feel like somebody died? This feels like funeral music. It sounds like funeral music. The hell? Yeah, this feels like funeral music. Yeah, okay, so that's the good ending with Yuri. Yeah, again, so yeah, the whole game-breaking thing, it feels a bit too disconnected for me still. A bit too much out of the blue, with no lead-up. A bit too, yeah, no visual evidence. Like I said, just like in Doom Annihilation, where they constantly say, oh, this entire building is about to explode and the entire moon is about to explode as well. And then you look at the fucking facility that they walk through and it's just the most brightly lit, clean facility that you ever see. You're like, how is this place supposed to blow up again? It's kind of like this. Supposedly this game is on the verge of death and then it plays smoother than... what's it called? It plays smoother than... this is supposed to represent a game that is on the verge of death. Completely, like, broken. Like, the slightest second of hesitation could be too much or too long. And then everything will just shatter to a grinding halt. And I'm just left with a blue screen of death, essentially. And yet this game plays smoother than Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Sorry for the developers of Security Breach, but you guys really do need to fix some things. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that whole entire plotline feels a bit too disconnected still. And again, Monika's plea for me to sympathize with her also feels a bit, yeah, misplaced. Again, like I said, it would have been better if she played it from the sympathy role, like, oh, I'm so fucking miserable. Can I please have a happy day, an happy ending finally? Instead of saying, fuck all of them, they're all useless. They're not real anyway. Even though, for me, Monika is just as real as they are, you know? So yeah, if she played it from that sympathy cards, or like from that direction, then it would have made the choice a bit more difficult than it was. And also, I feel like there should have been a bit more fourth wall breaking to do actually establish that Monika is actually real. And not just reading whatever the people that made this game told her to say. Yeah, okay. I'm guessing that the same, what's it called? The ending thing is still the same. And I guess I still can't press escape and go back to the menu after that. Yeah, audio grown from Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I knew that. I can't remember where that was exactly, but I heard it and I recognized that. Again, yeah, I can't remember where it was exactly in the game. But I knew it was from Five Nights at Freddy's. I recognized that creepy noise from anywhere. It's that noise that you hear when you're in the cameras and then there's already an animatronic in your room. And then when you put the camera down, you immediately get a jump scare. Yeah, this is the same. To the player. And I, again, can't press escape, so I have to Alt-F4 this thing. Alright, so that was the good ending for Yuri. I pretty much gave all my thoughts already. And this, of course, adds on top of the things that I said during the Sayuri ending. Yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. And then in the next episode, we're going to be on Natsuki's route. I almost said Sayori. Natsuki's route. Well, I said almost said Sayori because usually I go Yuri, Sayori, Natsuki. But this time I went Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki. So yeah, I'm going to go on Natsuki's route next. And yeah, after that we are going to go on Monika's route, finally. So yeah, I hope you Romans enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valete.